Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today on the page, we have a couple of things happening. Moon is going to go square to Jupiter today, and I like to say that Moon and Jupiter, when they get together, they have a good time together. Like Jupiter makes us feel our expansion and our growth, and so it makes us feel generous. But in this challenging situation, it might be more like we're in search of things that make us feel our generosity or make us feel our sense of expansion. And we may find ourselves lowering our standards in order to feel that way, to feel sort of better about what we're doing or how we're growing. And, that's not ideal. So just pay attention to that. If it represents sort of a lowering of your standards, don't go for it. Okay, it's just a couple hours aspect this morning, and then later tonight the sun makes ingress to Virgo. So we are in. Yesterday was our final full day in Leo. We'll be in Leo most of the day today, and then we switch over to Virgo. And so we switch from sort of Leo being the embodiment of all things golden and shining and seeking appreciation, and into Virgo being the more physical embodiment of the principles and the values that we stand for. Okay, let's get into these aspects. Today is Monday, August 22, 2022. The sun is in Leo, making ingress to Virgo later tonight. The sun's transit in Leo is always an active time. We debate, we celebrate, we work for the stuff we desire, which is mostly at this time recognition and appreciation. Venus will remain in the land of Leo a little while longer, and so we're likely to continue expressing our appreciation for others in that grandiose Leo style. All heat and glamour, friends. Mercury is at home in Virgo, stationing to go direct soon. Our plans and conversations have likely begun to center around concrete ways for us to live out our stated values. Mercury in Virgo can make us busybodies when it comes to the day-to-day stuff we deal with. Don't forget to give yourself a break from time to time. The moon today is a waning crescent and right at home in the sign of Cancer. We are practicing release or possibly even sacrifice as a form of self-preservation at this time. We place a strong emphasis on the peace in our home, and we seek to eject anything that doesn't contribute to our own well-being or that of our homes and families. Fixed fire and fixed water, friends. This feels like the steady rolling boil of a nourishing soup. Give the self and the home life that generous attention that can translate to real life sustenance. We start on the moon side of the page today. This is where we explore the inner life, how it feels to be us and who we are and how we show up at home and among the people that we keep close. The moon goes square to Jupiter today at 11:10 this morning. Central Standard Time, friends. Cancer, Sagittarius, and Pisces, we may notice a sort of changeable mood, sort of a changing of tastes. Like, normally we think we like things one way, but we want to try it a different way at this time. Just make sure that the different things that we're trying don't represent a lowering of our standards just for the sake of getting something that feels good. And then at 4:58 this afternoon, moon makes its apogee. So this is emotions buffered by distance. The moon is at its farthest point from the Earth in its orbit around the Earth. And so that just makes the emotional life feel a little more distant from us, which is always and often pretty helpful. It's been coming up a lot in Cancer lately, and I've been finding that very helpful because Cancer is a very deeply felt time for me, and it's nice to just get a little. It's not that I don't want to feel it, it's just that I want to have a little distance between me and the feeling. Okay, and there are a few things happening on the sun side of the page. This is where we explore our experience and self-expression out in the world, in our work, social, and civic lives specifically. At 4:58 this afternoon, Exactly the same time that the moon reaches its apogee, Mercury goes trine to Pluto. And this one will be with us through the 30th of this month. Gemini, Virgo, and Pluto. This is a beautiful time when we get to use our intellect, our plans, and especially our words to encourage changes, big ones. We can be persuasive, charming, or otherwise just very effective in the way we communicate, and this will bring others around to our way of thinking. So it's also a good time to be interacting with like-minded people since there's strength in numbers. And then at 10:16 this evening, Sun makes ingress to Virgo. When the Sun is in Virgo, we embody what we value and we show it in our actions. We see the improvement of ourselves and our surroundings as important work that maintains a feeling of equilibrium and therefore structure in our lives. And we'll have a whole 30 days to discuss that. So we'll start discussing it on the daily tomorrow morning. In the ongoing column today, we still have our 3 trines right there and there. Mars and Pluto bless us with the power of transformation through action. Mercury and Uranus here bless us with a flexible intellect that's ready to integrate exciting new information. And Venus and Jupiter here bless us with the capacity to hold the bigger and better things we seek for ourselves. So let's take a look. Mars is trine to Pluto here through August 28. And like I said, that is power to take conscious action on the transformations that we realize would represent sort of a leveling up for ourselves. And this has been affected lately by the Sun's quincunx to Pluto, which is just through to today, the 22nd. Leo and Scorpio, fire and water. This has been exposing us to some realizations about our past behaviors in relation to ourselves and others, and giving us an opportunity to notice how much we have changed. Also, the Sun is opposite to Saturn through today. Leo, Capricorn, and Aquarius, these have been your vibes. And this aspect has had us noticing where we feel limited and restricted at work or in our social and civic lives. Taken together, we are given some examples of areas in which we can use this Mars trine Pluto transformative power through action. First, to notice the things we've done in the past that sort of put us in the way of our own growth. And then second, to notice what external forces appear to limit that growth. Having noticed the various ways that we restrict ourselves or run up against limitations in the outer life, we're then empowered to act on a conscious intention to level up or to get past those old barriers that no longer apply to the potent, rational, caring, creative, and capable people that we are becoming. Mercury is trine to Uranus here through today. Gemini, Virgo, and Aquarius. Uranus goes retrograde in 2 days, and this will be a time when only the things we didn't expect to happen will occur. Okay, but for today, we have the power to imagine all kinds of things regarding the unknown and to take note of the good news, any positive revelations or interesting new ideas that are coming up for us. And then Mercury is also opposite to Neptune, and that's going to stay with us through the 28th. Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. Recall that today Mercury goes trine to Pluto, enabling us to be more persuasive and charming. This aspect acts as a sort of balance to that one, because when Mercury is opposite Neptune, we can be somewhat innocent or gullible in terms of the information we receive. We can be both very convincing and very easily convinced at this time. Venus is trine to Jupiter through tomorrow, just the 23rd. Taurus, Libra, Sagittarius, and Pisces. As I mentioned before, this represents an opportunity to grow on the inside, to figuratively expand the capacity of our hearts and minds to receive and hold more of what we like, love, and can't get enough of. Think of this in terms of what you know you'd like to have but currently do not. Take the lottery for an example. People win large sums of money all the time, but most of them don't manage to maintain their wealth over the long term. It can happen that we gain the abundant blessing of something we aren't prepared to take on, and then we run the risk of losing it all because we don't know how to handle it. If you get that dream job, will you find that you are truly qualified for it? Have you prepared yourself for it? Do you have the important experience and education needed to dive in and not sink? Or when you attract that dream lover, are you prepared to be everything a solid partner might expect from someone they'd like to build a future with? There's always more personal growth to be had, and it's a good idea to plan ahead for being the kind of person who has the capacity to manage bigger blessings. Also, retrograde season unfolds a little bit differently every year for us. And it is appropriate that the season is changing at this time because we have just begun the work of personal transformation that these retrogrades called for. I encourage you to look at your personal charts, okay? Find these planets, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter, Chiron, all of our outer life, big picture planets, and Chiron is an asteroid, but it's also out there between Saturn and Uranus. It's a very outer life sort of planet. So find where they're placed in your chart and find out in what sign at least, and also in what house if you can get that far. This can give you some idea where this review and self-assessment might be taking you. For example, in my personal chart, Saturn, my yearning for stability in the world, originates in the sign of Gemini, the sign for sharing information. Much of the work I've done in this life has been around being able to connect with others and share information. And Saturn in Gemini is in the 12th house, which is the part of our lives where we confront mystery and knowledge of our own unconscious ways of being. All the more appropriate then that I make my way in the world by sharing with other people with the intention of helping them know themselves better. Whether that has been through massage, through astrology, through reading tarot, or, simply by being friendly and available to people, I have materialized a living, a network that supports and validates me. Okay, by doing as Saturn said I would do from the very beginning. And when Saturn is retrograde, I'm given this period of time to reconsider how I share that information and in what way I seek to help others gain that self-knowledge, and how that's going to apply to my personal stability. If you're curious to know what your Saturn placement says about you, let me know about it in the comments section, and I will do my best to interpret and inform you about it. All right, coming up, Uranus is stationing now to go retrograde on Wednesday, and we may have some truly unexpected realizations at that time. Also on Wednesday, Venus goes trine to Chiron, which may bring us closer in love to the ones we keep closest. Thursday, Mercury makes ingress to Libra, and our plans and conversations come around to topics of truth, justice, and elegant solutions. Friday, Venus goes square to Uranus, and this comes around to show us that our ideas about romance and intimacy are not necessarily all shared by the people around us. Sun square Mars will spur us into action that day, or leave us feeling very frustrated. And then on Saturday, a powerful new moon in Virgo gives us an opportunity to think about how we embody our principles. And then on Sunday, Venus goes opposite to Saturn, and we may have cause to wonder whether the love we feel can be brought to mesh with the practical realities of our lives. And that's it for today's astrology, friends. Thanks for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe to the channel, click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. For a longer, less formal version of this reading that includes further insight from tarot, please check out my other channel, Astrology Today and Tarot with Mel Rose. The link is in the description. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in. My love and gratitude go out to each and every one of you. And I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.